It's fun.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast, coming at you loud and proud, bringing strong opinions and salty humor to Ohio State football. These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and their brand of banter is guaranteed to entertain and excite you. But if you're not a Buckeye, don't bother. Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Buckeye Cast to stay up to date on all things Ohio State football. And be sure to subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
Buckeye fans, Buckeye Nation, tell me something. Who has it better than us? We do. You cocksuckers. How's that turd sandwich taste, Hardball? You wash it down with a little milk? I hope you enjoyed it. I got my boy, Jeff, over in Orlando. I got Henry up in Detroit.
What's up, brother?
Enjoying the fruits of the Buckeye victory.
Oh,
right
yes.
on the front lines.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it. That son of a bitch Harbaugh got his ass kicked, and he's crying all week. Oh my God. So anyway, let's jump right into this. You know, we don't do any homework for this show. We just get into a quick game recap, and this is going to be a lengthy recap because it was so amazing and just got me to the core. So I'll try not to get emotional, guys. I'm sorry. As you remember, we won this game of all games, 30-27. It was nice that Michigan could put up a fight every 10 years. It's enjoyable. First off, I gotta give huge props to the fans. That stadium was fucking rocking, man. It was like 06 again, but maybe even more so. For a noon game, that shit was off the hook.
It was jacked.
Yeah.
There was a goddamn earthquake.
Right. A 5.7 or something.
Got that seismic shit hooked up.
Yeah. So they blew that shit up. Super proud of the fans for bringing it so early. Usually Buckeye fans don't roll out of the rack till noon. So to really get in deep and bust it up that early was nice. And they really brought it in the second half when we needed a little motivation. So to jump into it, I want to tell you guys how proud I was of the D. A defense delivered that game. That was handmade by the defense. Offense did shit all day. Not that I expected an explosion, but that's my initial take. Henry, if I didn't walk all over you right there, how'd you take that?
Man, I did. First of all, I hate to do it, but hats off to Michigan. That was a great fucking football game. I was on the edge of my seat that entire game, like breathing heavy, like so into that freaking game. Right. Yeah. It was a great college football game. Yeah. And it really pisses me off that Harbaugh did that in his presser. I feel like he diminished with his little fucking crybaby antics how great that game was, and really should have focused on his players and how well they played. He didn't mention it at all. The whole thing was a fucking cry fest. But I couldn't agree with you more. The D was crazy, lights out. That stadium was bomb. Six. I mean, they put another drive, and then the fumble and that the D was crazy. Why we can win it all, because our D, when Raekwon and linebackers and company are playing well, our D is as good or better than anyone's. And the offense sucks, and I don't know why Seaman doesn't get it more. Look how effective he was in overtime, and I still really got some questions with the play calling on offense, and I got questions about Barrett's arm. It's becoming a liability, And if it doesn't, it's been pretty shitty for a while now. And if it doesn't get better, then we're in trouble.
Yeah. Jeff, what do you got for your highlight?
By like you guys said, the turnovers. Baker's interception was. I mean, I wish our receivers could catch that well.
No shit.
Well,
no
shit.
I mean, that was. I mean,
you have to get open
that
first.
was. Right. That was a hell of a catch. I mean, that was. Hooker's was kind of. With the batted pass, he just happened to get to the ball in time. Baker had to go get that ball.
Yeah, he did.
Those turnovers, I mean, were obviously huge. I shared the same frustrations with the offense. But, I mean, we held Michigan's run game to under 100 yards.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think they've won under 100 yards all season. Our defense can definitely keep us in the game with anyone in the country. But our offense is going to have to score points. We can't just depend on. Let's wait till we get, starting from the 25 and overtime. Then where offense will work. We got to be able to move the ball. I mean, like we did the first drive, went right down the field. Just
we walked down 72 yards.
Missed the bullshit field goal, and then we just got in a rut for fucking 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we got to be able to score points if we're playing a team like Clemson. Or if we play a team like Washington, those teams can throw the ball and they can score points in a hurry. Yeah. Now our defense is going to keep us in any game against anyone. I have total confidence in our defense, but we got to be able to match some points.
I got to tell you, man, our D made big plays when they needed to, and Raekwon and Baker both had monster. I'm talking like Spielman-like games from the 80s. These two dudes went 15, 16 tackles.
You know what? I would include
throw Worley in there. Yeah. 11 tackles?
Yes, I'll put him in there too, sure. And honestly, the way looking at this game from a large picture standpoint, the team came together in the second half. Late in the third and the fourth, we fucking I hate to tout my prediction last week, but I told you guys we'd take these fuckers into deep waters, and they're not going to last. And that's what we did. A little deeper than I wanted to go. I didn't want to go double OT waters, but whatever it takes, But we actually should have beat them in the fourth quarter. We had the ball with 2.5 minutes left inside the 10, and we should have walked in and finished the game, not kicked that fucking field goal. But we only had one timeout to work with, and just milked the clock, and we're happy with 3. I was a little perturbed by that clock management, but so be it.
I was a little perturbed that Isaiah Prince is a fucking turnstile.
Yeah.
Yeah, was he handing out the fucking tokens as they were going by?
They were going to pull him. I thought he deserved to get pulled.
Well, that's Joe. When I texted you, I said, I know we don't have anybody behind him, but that's our problem. Yep. They kept the same 5 starting all year because there's nobody. I'm making a move at halftime too.
I
thought Prince was on the tape. He's getting paid, man. The way they were blowing by him, that Taco Charlton owned his ass. Everybody owned him.
Yeah.
But I knew Michigan's D line, the defensive line especially. But I knew they were the real deal, and I'm not. They do have a great defense.
Yeah.
They made our offense look pretty bad and exposed our weaknesses. And that's pretty much what they did. They attacked our right tackle. They stuffed the run. Right.
Well, let's back up. Let's get into the stats first, and then we'll dissect these O-line problems and some of the other issues that are underlying.
Okay.
I basically want to get into the offensive stat sheet, which is most offensive. 3 of 16 on third downs. Horrific.
Putrid.
But 2 of 3 on fourths. So that's not good. And that starts up front, obviously, with the 6 sacks we gave up. we barely matched them in yardage on offense. And JT had the one pick that was, a tip ball to that Dick faced Peppers.
His first career pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only fitting that he got it
Mr.
against us.
fucking overrated.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some awesome reviews of his defensive attributes this week. It's kind of funny, actually.
The NFL scouts
and Bobby Carpenter. It's priceless and accurate. So, sorry.
Yes.
Some things I want to touch on you guys with in the first half. Sorry, I just got a news blurb. Jeffrey Okudah will be announcing his commitment on December 10th.
Boom. Urban Meyer was in his living room yesterday.
Yeah. So, I was in Urban Meyer's living room yesterday.
Get on. That's what you're getting.
No. That would be against the law. So, hidden things that that I wanted to touch on is first half. Okay, just dissecting this game a little further down. The field position in the first half. We could not flip the fucking field. Their punter is knocking the fucking ball out of the ballpark. He had a 67-yarder, man.
That one was into the wind.
Right. Their punter was legitimately better than ours. You can't argue.
And aside from the fake punt, Cameron Johnson didn't really have that bad a day. It's just that guy was having a great day. He looked like Alabama's punter in the playoff in 14. Right. Dude put us in the fucking
constantly
down in the coffin corner like 6 times.
And then, but Samuel is not doing anything to get a good return out of there.
Nothing. Get him out.
Everything went over his head.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he let it go.
Yeah. I mean, most of those punts they got 20 yards on the roll. It's not like dude was just hitting at the 4 and bouncing out of bounds. Those balls are going over our returner's head, and then they're just sitting there huddled around it while it's just fucking. And they got the benefit of every fucking roll too.
And he outkicked his coverage every time. Because he had such a huge leg. He
could have had big returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was blasting it. He was their MVP of that game, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I wrote
we could
down.
never get any momentum coming out of there. You got to play conservative down there,
right?
And to get the ball out, and we just couldn't.
Yeah, luckily things changed a little in the second half, but that dude was killing it. But I think things that you can't really see in the stats are like the key defensive plays we had, obviously with the turnovers that you can easily see. But the QB pressures and batted down balls on third downs were huge, man. I mean, it may not look like much in the scope of the game as you're watching it, but it's huge because it basically, puts them in a 3-and-out or forces a punt. So those are just a couple of things that I want to touch on. And we can jump into the O-line right now. I mean, I have plenty of things I'd like to say, but let me get your take, Jeff.
We should have an open competition at all 5 positions going into spring ball. There's all 5 positions should be open. I mean, we're losing Elflein, maybe Price.
He'll be back.
But you think Price will be back?
I think so.
I think he's got a lot to work on. He had a great year last year. Yeah. I think he fell off. I don't know what it was.
Slides to center.
If he moves to center?
Yeah.
Is he smart enough? I know he's strong as a bull, but is he?
I don't know.
He think like bull too.
Smack him in the head with a bat.
I mean, Jamarco Jones was probably our most consistent lineman all year. But I still think all 5 positions should be open. I don't think anybody played their way like Taylor Decker did. He coming into his last year, he was our left tackle. That wasn't changing. I don't think anybody played that well that their spot shouldn't be up for competition. This Isaiah Prince, my God, he handed us our only goddamn loss. I mean, single-handedly, pretty much. And yeah,
During the game, they were talking
is,
about it.
JT will not be. He's not any good. He looked. I mean, like I said during the game, he looked shook because with the happy feet and like just from getting hit constantly.
The third quarter, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he might struggle during some games, but he never looks like rattled. Yeah. Against them dickheads, he looked rattled because he was getting hit so much.
Yeah. Let me give you some. Go ahead.
You know, there's a certain team that's number one in the country right now. They got a better defensive line than Michigan does. So if we don't sure some shit up, I can't imagine what Alabama would do to us because they'll just Saban back. They'll just tee off. They'll be like, okay,
well, you're gonna have to keep the tight end in and keep Weber back there to help.
Right, but yeah, go ahead, Henry. Give me your take on this.
No, just Michigan. I mean, Michigan's D line is good. I mean, it's one of the best in the country. I'll give them that. But there was no excuse, and you had they said it during the game that JT was going over and asking Prince, "Hey man, are you all right?" And fuck no. Well, I mean, what was his answer?
No, he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." No, you weren't.
Dude, man, you fucking back here.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's, playing a good D line, that's one thing, but getting worked like that, I mean, I seriously, and I don't think I've ever said that in the history of football where I'm like, you should pull a lineman, but I wanted to pull his ass. Like you said, Jeff, I don't know who's back there, but there's got to be somebody that ain't going to get worked like that.
Yeah, at least give somebody. I mean, I was surprised that they didn't give somebody a series. You see it in the NFL all the time. Dude runs by somebody a couple times, they pull him out, they bring another guy in. Same thing might happen, but at least maybe it gets lights a fire under the guy's ass about look, you will get pulled if you are not producing.
Oh, sorry.
That hasn't.
Baron Browning has committed to the Ohio State University.
Boom!
Yes,
Boom!
Sir. Big booms coming out of
Suck it, Saban.
Yep, they sealed it late, and I think the Michigan game probably did it.
Boy, I wonder why that other linebacker decommitted.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. He's coming here.
Simmons was good too.
Yeah, he was.
But I know that all the coaches were in Texas. I saw a picture of all of shit. There was 4 coaches in Browning's living room.
I didn't have a chance to look around. Is everybody else flying around like Ohio State? I just feel like we are on it.
Well, everybody else can't because everybody has a championship game to prepare for this weekend. So Alabama is stuck at home preparing for a game where we're kind of just in hangout mode.
I did see though.
What?
Wade corner out of Jacksonville.
Yeah. Stud.
What's his fucking Florida? 3 of Florida's coaches were at his house last night.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jacksonville to Gainesville, shit's an hour drive maybe.
Right.
So, but yeah, other than that, no, the people aren't flying like these teams playing this weekend aren't flying around like we are.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But even so, I didn't see any. Harbaugh always makes the news when he's sleeping overnight at children's homes, but I didn't hear anything about Michigan canvassing the country, and I didn't see anything about Michigan State up here doing that. I just think, man, the Buckeyes they're fucking good. They go hard at everything. Yeah. They go hard.
Michigan's still filing their petitions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kerry Combs was up in Detroit on Monday.
Yeah, I read that.
Planting flags. So, yeah, that's kind of a luxury, I guess, to not play in the Big Ten championship.
It's a total setup that that's so nice.
If you can plan it that way. I'm not sure it's the way you want to plan it. And
no, you don't want to roll your dice with it. But I'm with you.
There's, I still would like to be a Big Ten champion, so there's not any question going into this fucking final thing after Saturday.
Well, some of us had money on that too. So, anywho, let's not get into that. I wanted to, before we get back into recruiting or whatever, I wanted to polish off the O-line. I want to go back to JT's accuracy, and I think the O-line issues are part of the problem with timing and his delivering the ball on time. He had 42 dropbacks, okay, in the game. He was pressured 19 times and had 6 sacks, okay? So that's 50% of your dropbacks, you got somebody in your fucking face. How the hell can you be expected to complete a pass in those kind of situations? You know, I know he was inaccurate on a couple balls, or not a couple, but a few. He went high on Samuel a couple times, and Samuel also dropped one. Paris Campbell dropped one that was right in his frickin' chest.
Yeah.
In his gut.
Oh,
God.
Finally, Barrett throws a good ball. He was so
Right.
fucking surprised.
Right. But I want to.
He's all ready to jump.
I personally want to put a lot of the onus on the O-line, because I guarantee you, especially in that second, third quarter, that was affecting his accuracy and timing. I'm not saying he has the best arm in the world. You know how I question his strength of arm and getting it down the field, but we didn't even try to go down the field. You know, we're talking like 15 yards and less type passes, you know. So that was something I thought was a bigger problem with his timing and accuracy, with Jordan, Prince, and Jamarco getting killed all day long. And if for some reason we couldn't stop this thing called a Taco Charlton, I think you have to pay extra for that. And that traitor turncoat McCray, whose dad went to Ohio State. So those two guys ate up our cheddar cheese.
Yeah, off the edge, both of them.
Yeah, all day long.
And JT had missed. I mean, I saw a couple times where he missed some wide ass open crossing routes because there's dudes in his face and he's not 6'6", where he can still see it.
Too.
That was another thing. I don't know why he didn't mix in a fucking pump fake one time, at least once. Show him you can do it.
Right.
You know, show him you're capable of a pump fake at least. It might slow him down, but even the guys that weren't blowing past our linemen, they just sat. They'd go into Elfline or Price, contact, get in, and then they'd wait until he was getting ready to throw, jump up, bat it down.
Yep.
And it didn't look like effortless, you know, with not much effort.
How many batted balls did he have? I feel like it was 5.
He's good for 3 to 5 a game.
I think there had to have been 5 or 6. Yeah.
If they're playing a decent D line, he's getting a few batted down every fucking game. That's
He was sacked 6 times.
Yeah, man. And like I said, 19 pressures out of 42 dropbacks. That is horrendous. And if you go into the CFBFilmroom.com, they got breakdowns of all the blocking on all the O-linemen. These percentages are horrendous. Isaiah Prince was like an 85%. Weber was only an 85%. Michael Jordan was a 90%. This is terrible. Terrible. But anyway, I was just getting deep into some of that shit. I want to talk to you guys about the last 3 drives of the game. I thought they were the most significant because we started to really assert ourselves on both sides of the ball. I felt like the O-line was starting to move a little, as long as we didn't drop back for a pass. And I felt that the D-line really was getting push and making plays. And obviously they allowed, 5 yards in the fourth quarter by Michigan.
Exclamation point on that one for that D.
Yeah.
That's all he did all day. Give up 5 yards in the fourth.
But look at these last 3 drives of the fourth quarter before we even get into overtime. Buckeyes went 10 plays, 61 yards, missed the fucking field goal, of course. Then Michigan went 3 and out, coming back, and then going the other direction. Buckeyes went 13 plays, 77 yards, and burned the final 5 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock. And had to kick the field goal in OT. Like I mentioned earlier, we had the ball inside the 10 with 2.5 left and 1 timeout. Totally should have punched it in and won the ball game outright at that point. You know.
That's when I thought I was like I said touchdown here. We're gonna fucking end it.
Yep.
We're gonna end the game on a dominating fashion.
Yep.
You know, a 5-minute drive down the field just to kick
After
them in the
missing
nuts.
2 field goals. Yeah, that would have been a lot less anxiety for me.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, and saved 30 minutes off my life.
I scared the shit out of my 10-year-old. She didn't know what was going on. She just looked at me, and my wife was like, "Hey, just go back upstairs."
She needs to understand the rules of the game and overtime.
She got it. She just didn't. She never saw me like that.
Yeah.
Especially this season.
Yeah.
Even in the Penn State game, I was kind of numb that game. But this game, I was a mess.
Before you even go on, I mean, those last 3 drives, and those are huge, but hats off to Weber, too. Tough sledding all day. I think the kid ran hard for the limited number of carries he had.
Yeah.
And again, with the Samuel, look what he did late in the game. He's the best freaking offensive player. How many times I got to say it?
Yeah.
I want you people to listen. He's the best offensive player in college football and completely underutilized. I think Herb's trying to keep him here for another year.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
He will kill a combine. They'll be like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they're looking at and just in shorts and fucking on the track. My God.
The best athlete on the field, no doubt. Include Peppers in that comment.
Peppers had a terrible game. It was funny watching him get destroyed all game long. That 40-yard run by Barrett, he only had to beat one guy, Peppers.
He did.
He outran him.
Just different.
Outran away from him.
Yeah. That tells you something because JT's like a 4.6 guy.
Yeah, JT is not as fast as he was his redshirt freshman year. He's put on a few pounds. He's strong in the lower body, I think. He's a little bit stronger, but yeah.
He's a 4.6, 4.65 kind of guy. He's not blowing anybody away, but he can move. And when you get a hand in your face, and you can't catch up, that tells you something. And just to touch on Peppers while we're on it, he is a very useful and very dynamic punt returner and offensive player in certain spots. He's not a good defensive player. He's not. He doesn't.
No.
He is really good. He's really good at returning.
Yeah,
I give him that. I don't know where else he's good.
He's not. It's not tackling. It's not defending receivers or tight ends. It's not run stoppage.
Yeah, he can't play the fucking run either. He's 210 pounds.
We ran at him.
Early in the season, maybe it took its toll on his little body, but early in the season, I watched a couple of his games. He was filling holes. He was playing hard. He was playing tough. And, boy, this is really the only game I really focused, on it because I'm so intense into this game. And he was mediocre at best. I mean, the pick was a freaking gift.
Exactly.
And, again, outside of the punt return, he didn't do anything.
No, had no impact on the game, really. I mean,
he gave up on that 9-yard crazy play by Samuel. He kind of gave up on that. And he could have at least pushed Samuel into pressure. He watched that play.
Well, Weber was coming out to block him. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want. I'm not getting my nose in there."
I can name 4 other guys on Michigan after that game that stuck out in my mind.
Jordan Lewis.
Yeah,
I'll take Jordan Lewis over Peppers.
Taco for sure.
Taco. And
that Glasgow, he looked pretty good.
Glasgow,
Wormley, yeah.
McCray. I can name a bunch of guys before I think of Peppers. So
agreed.
Yeah, I mean the punt return really didn't do much. I mean they didn't. I don't think they ended up scoring on that drive that he had that big return.
Oh, by the way, he won Big
really
Ten.
No impact.
He won Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. By the way,
I know. Someone told me that. I made him show me. I'm like that can't be. There's no way he did.
I looked at all those honors. That stuff's all off of name and just reputation. That's not.
Who gets on ESPN anymore?
Right. I mean, that was. I looked at just the all the names from position by position. Receiver of the year, or they didn't have a receiver of the year, but
we're not going to
the lineman of the year.
It's a fucking.
I think Malik Hooker over Peppers any fucking day.
Garyon Conley got third team all conference. Let's put it that way.
That's okay. Guess what? He'll be first round NFL. That's what matters.
Yeah, Marshawn got second team. Give me a fucking break.
Right. So, yeah, just wanted to go into a little bit of depth on the D that delivered that big W. 2 sacks, 5 TFLs, 27 guys with tackles. It's good to see. That means we got a lot of depth out there. Really stiffened in the red zone every fucking time, man. Held him to a field goal. Hubbard, Bosa, and Tyquan. Again, I got to say that the timing of the batted down balls, the one by Tyquan, just huge on third down. That is that's like a DB getting a knockdown, you know? Amazing. Baker, huge fucking day. Listen to these numbers, guys, if you haven't heard them yet. 15 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, and a pick with a solid return to set us up at the 13.
You know me, I love that Baker.
Yeah.
That kid, he's lights out, man, and exactly what we needed. Him and Raekwon are going like that. Good luck anybody we're playing.
Yeah. That linebacker blitz up the middle was very effective. Davion Smith has major pass protection issues. They were bringing Raekwon up the middle and Baker both. Raekwon obviously got the assist on the pick 6 by Hooker. Huge play.
Yep.
Baker had the same play later on, coming from a different angle. But Davion Smith didn't know what the fuck was happening when people were coming right up the middle.
Yeah, that looked like it was something out of their film study where they saw, that's just, we need to pressure them right at the gut and get Spate trying to move on his feet.
That play that Hubbard had when, what's his name, was going out there to the outside and Hubbard stayed home and chased him.
Yeah,
when Hubbard
tripped him up and then Hooker finished it.
I read something somewhere, I don't know if it was a comp, but there's not a ton of DNs that are going to be able to make that play like Hubbard did.
No. Special teams gaffes almost cost us the game again. I don't understand how this is still an issue after the Penn State game. But 2 missed field goals and the blown up fake punt. I know.
Oh my! Can you believe the fake punt?
I know Herb took the bullet for that one. I'm not sure that was his call. I think they probably said, in film study, if you see this look from Michigan, then you can run it. But maybe they should stipulate that with not inside your own fucking 20.
Or plus the way the game was going, the score, the way,
second quarter.
Yeah, I think the time you got to know the.
Yes. Maybe you just ignore that look.
Like you were totally split. We were totally screwing that.
Yeah, put the defense in a horrible spot, but we came up and
they
held
scored.
Them, but
they scored.
That is the one they scored on. That's right. They did score that fullback they have went to the left.
Yeah,
but if Hubbard holds that block on a DB, if he gets that block,
it's
we
close.
get to 3. We were 3 yards short.
It's close.
I think he gets it. Or it. Maybe it comes down to a measurement.
I mean.
Yeah.
That Aussie ran straight right at him. I mean, come on, make a little cut. Try.
Well, that's not his job, man. I mean, fuck. I don't feel bad for the guy, but geez.
Yeah, I never want to have to say,
dicey.
well, if my punter would have made somebody miss, we would have been fine.
Right. Put some shake.
We're counting on our punter to make a guy miss. Maybe we shouldn't have tried to. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have tried to execute it.
Well, we counted on our punter to. Punter the kicker had to help on a special team attack. Was that the Peppers play?
That was Jordan Lewis on that big return to end the game. Is that what you're talking about? Or they went to set up their score? Anyway, yeah, the cook Tyler Durbin had to force him back inside on the kickoff, and somebody made a tackle, but they were already almost to midfield.
Yeah. No, he'd have been gone though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I wanted to say how bad I feel about the penalties affecting the game, especially our 2 penalties for a total of 6 yards. I feel terrible about those. I don't feel terrible about the 7 for 59 executed by Michigan. Many of them were very timely, like the hook on the PI late in the game, kept that drive going. And then Harbaugh going berserker on his play sheet and didn't think anybody would notice for some reason.
That's probably a culmination of the whole year of him throwing a goddamn crybaby fit. He does it in every game. It's not just that game. Yeah. And the ref probably said something like, "Look, you're close to getting a 15." And of course, it's Harbaugh thinking he's fucking, God's gift of coaching or whatever. He just thinks he can just continue to act like an ass, and there's with no harm. I don't, and of course, Michigan fans are gonna take with it what they will, but he does that shit all season long.
Right, baby.
He is a bitch of a coach, man. For being a good coach, it's like beneath him, It
should be beneath him.
It should be, yeah. And then I gotta touch on this because it is so fucking perfect that he quotes Bo in the post-game presser to say, "I'm bitterly disappointed," and doesn't give the guy credit for that quote. Come on, you cocksucker. As your guy, as your coach, man. You've just ripped his fucking line.
He's trying to become a combination of Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler with his glasses and his quotes.
Minus the good coaching.
Yeah.
Jesus, and his fucking khakis.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
The dude's a fucking asshole. And
he was over there saying, did that post-game presser, he's like, well, you know what? He goes, they keep telling us to get back. He goes, I see their coaches over there, they're damn near in the huddle. And he's all pissed off.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm over there, I see him keep jumping, they're off sides. He goes, the lineman's right there, supposed to see it. He's worried about me pushing my guys back.
Yeah, right. Constant bitching. It's weak shit that you say when you just got your ass kicked.
Gave no credit now. And of course he didn't come out to the midfield and shake Urban's hand, which, just about every coach, every time, shakes hands. No. Ran around. At least that's what they stated. Now, obviously, the video doesn't show it. It was stated that he didn't. He just made this stuff the field.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yes,
guess what? You won't be missed.
Threw him on his head.
Right. You won't be
so
missed.
I mean, we did get. Okay, well, we did get away with through. So, maybe penalty. I could see that.
Keep it fair, boys. Keep it fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, all right. Well, I don't feel bad.
You know what? Let Samuel run it in for 15 yards out. The ref didn't do that. So Michigan, you had your spots.
Yep.
You had your chances. You blew it. You did. Yeah, the game, and you blew it. You choked. Our defense lights out. Your quarterback blows.
Yep. They had how many possessions? Yeah,
5 yards in the last corner of a football.
And you're going to get your ass kicked next year because the whole defense is gone.
No, half the team. Literally, half the team is gone.
Yeah, the O-line is gone.
44 seniors, 43 seniors.
Yeah.
And plus a couple peppers in there that'll go early.
Right. So,
hey.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I feel bad.
Right, exactly.
Harbaugh doing that's going to burn too hot, and it'll be another 2-3 years because he's going to get blown out at the shit house next year. Yeah. And then 2 years from now, he might be solid again, but we're going to be even better with all these kids coming up. and
But by then,
loses there, and then he's gone.
by then his kids will be tired of hearing the same bullshit. Be like, shut the fuck up, man.
Yep, and then you'll
Yeah.
see him you'll see him in Indianapolis coaching Andrew Luck in the twilight of his career.
That makes sense.
I
So-
wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the pros.
Yeah.
If they can, if somebody offers him all the power he wants and the top salary, because of course I think that's important to him. So, he gets $8 million or $9 million to come back in the NFL and be the GM, president, player personnel, and the coach. I'm sure he'd jump at it.
Yeah.
And that team would suck, whoever they are.
Yep. So, all right, let's segue into the college football rankings. You guys know the top four: Bama, Buckeyes, Clemson, Washington. Miraculously, Michigan only drops 2 spots, and then
I
Wisconsin
thought they only dropped 1.
2.
Okay.
It dropped from 3 to 5.
Oh, that's right. Okay, they went to 5. I forgot they were at 3 now.
Then Wisconsin, Penn State behind them.
What's with that, by the way? They've lost 2 of their last 3 or something like that, and they're 2-2 on the road.
Yeah, they've played 2 teams with a pulse and lost both of them games. So, yeah, I guess apparently you don't drop down too far, but it's kind of like the landscape of college football right now, where you have to look at the other teams and say, who's better than them?
Exactly, Joe. I think you nailed it right there, because look, I'm sure that committee, like we did, looked at that game and said they controlled Ohio State for the large portion of that game in Columbus.
Right.
I think that they're probably seeing that more than they're seeing they lost 2 of their last 3. But honestly, who plays defense better than Michigan? 3 teams, 4 teams maybe in the country, and they got to be worried about that offense. Though their offense sucks.
Well, I think
Any way
need
you slice
to
it, that offense
gauge
cannot
that
play.
defense against their opponents, and you put their resume against ours. Even I don't know about Penn State and Wisconsin, but I don't think their defense is that great. When you get late in the game, I think we showed that their defense got tired, and they did not have the depth that everybody thought they did.
No, they rotated. I think they rotated a few guys on the D line.
Well, we moved
the
the
rest
ball
of
easily in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the rest of the linebackers are the same. The DBs, I didn't see any different names out there than the ones I already knew. I mean, they like I said, they ran a few guys out on the D line.
That Taco got some cramps.
Michigan ain't getting in. They probably are one of the best 4 teams in the country,
Well,
but I don't think they're getting it. It's going to take a miracle. I think for Michigan to get in, there would be 3 Big Ten teams in that playoff,
Yeah.
look,
which could happen.
keep in mind
And that would be great.
Keep in mind,
That would be awesome.
Clemson versus Vautech. Vautech is a 9-3 team. We know how that defense is. They're going to scheme. They still have Bud Foster there, the D coordinator, as head coach now. They can scheme up something against Clemson and Washington.
And Clemson hasn't looked that great.
Exactly, and Washington does not have a pushover game against Colorado. That Colorado squad is getting back to some prominence in the Pac-12.
I haven't watched it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll watch that game, but Colorado.
They had Michigan on the ropes in that second quarter when they knocked out their fucking quarterback, and Colorado's been playing well, winning games without their quarterback.
Who'd they beat? They just got smoked by USC.
Well, yeah, dude, nobody wants to play USC.
Washington did.
Yeah, USC is really, really good.
I think Michigan's only chance is Colorado has to win because they have the head-to-head over Colorado.
Right.
Vautech would have to win over Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wouldn't. In Clemson and say 3 and 4 both lose. Move in 5 and the winner of 6 and 7 because 6 and 7 play each other. Mm-hmm. I don't see Oklahoma State or Oklahoma getting in, honestly.
Right.
I don't either because Oklahoma got blown out at home by us.
And Oklahoma State
Colorado wasn't
no.
the game, but they ended up getting blown
Big
out.
12 doesn't even factor into this program.
I think if that were to happen, I think Penn State or Wisconsin would go in. I think they would go in ahead of Michigan. I think it would be 1 Bama, 2 Ohio State, 3 Big Ten champion, 4 Michigan State or Michigan, and they'd have to play Bama, and they'd get rolled.
Yep, definitely. So
I'd love a rematch with Penn State.
Well, what if they put them in at 3 and we had to play them next game?
no, I think barring some craziness, it's going to be Buckeyes versus Clemson, Bama versus Washington, and you know how that's going to turn out.
I think Washington might lose. I think one of them's going to lose, Clemson or Washington. I hope so. I hope the committee has some big problems, and
Well,
some. It makes it easy if Clemson and Washington win. Then you got your 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is how the committee said on Tuesday night how Ohio State and Penn State aren't even close. There is no real comparison between the two. Buckeyes are well above that Penn State team, which we lost to.
Yeah.
You know?
And that does surprise me because of what they just did to Michigan State and how we struggled against Michigan State, and how. But Michigan waxed them by 30 points or whatever, 40 points.
That was early without their linebackers. Their D is playing really well right now.
Right. Well, that fucking dude that was suspended the first half of our game, which I always love that 1 half suspended.
Right. That's quality.
Next and a half he did play.
Oh, yeah, he's the one that made Prince look fucking silly. That number 90, I think, 91. That dude's.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's tough as shit.
Yeah.
But I would love to have a rematch with Penn State. I hope they fucking do get in.
But
I would rather play.
If Clemson even lost, they could still only drop to 4, maybe.
maybe. But
Maybe.
they're favored by 10 versus Va Tech. You lose when you're favored by 10, that's a bad look. Whiskey is only favored by 2.5 over Penn State. Penn State winning that game is a good look for them, and even Wisconsin winning that game is a good look for them as well. But I still don't think that's enough to shoehorn your way into the top 4. Assuming Clemson and Washington both win, obviously.
I don't think there's any chance Colorado gets in. Even if they blowing out Washington, I don't think Colorado gets in still. Because I think
Oklahoma. You don't think they'll let Oklahoma backdoor in there?
No.
If they blow out Oklahoma State,
No.
they got that kid's probably going to win the Heisman now. We killed that kid.
Yeah.
I could see Oklahoma maybe jumping. Say Ohio State, Bama, the Big Ten champ, and say if Clemson
That
loses,
sounds like quite the hurdle.
Oklahoma getting in at 4.
Oh, dude, you're asking for some major losses,
But that would be because they would have a game though. In Michigan would stay at 5, and that would be 6 and 7. Winner would go to 3. Oklahoma at 8 goes to 4. I could see it.
It'd have to be a really basically what is Colorado wins, and Oklahoma's going to have to win like 70-10.
But look at Oklahoma's resume, man. They got nothing on that schedule. It's not even comparable to a Clemson. Even you could maybe put an argument against Washington, but not Michigan, Wisconsin, and Penn State. Their schedule sucks.
Yeah, you got to think though. There's no way. I can't imagine the committee putting in 3 Big Ten teams if Washington and Clemson lose.
Do you think they'll put Ohio State and Michigan in over the winner of the Big Ten? Both of them?
Well,
Very possible. Yeah.
The only thing that would worry me is if Penn State won against Wisconsin big. As far as for us not being guaranteed.
Let me tell you, what pisses
you
me
guys
off,
seem to be dead set on we're guaranteed. Since we're not a conference champion, we don't have that definite.
Let me tell
I got
you,
money on that. We are.
I'm pissed off that this.
I believe we will be, but I'm just saying you're saying there's a chance.
Last season pisses me off because we lost one game, though it was late. We were still one of the best 4 teams in the country. You can't say we weren't.
That does worry me.
That's what's bullshit, and how all of a sudden the committee's concept of conference championships is not so important. You know what I'm saying? So last year it was like the number one thing you had to do win your conference and get in. But now all of a sudden, you can get in. You don't have to win your conference.
And look what it was. Our one loss was to the team that won our conference.
Because they know they screwed that up.
And then they got smoked.
Michigan State fans knew that they weren't better than us. I got a bunch of buddies up here that root for them. They're like, yeah, we weren't as good as Ohio State last year. No,
and they had to be dreading that game against Bama.
They weren't ready for it. They thought this year they were going to be, but it turns out.
Oh, fuck.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside.
And then they totally lay the egg. I was actually rooting for them to lose against Penn State because I've thought for weeks this sets up perfect for us, and we don't have to win the Big Ten because there cannot be a thinking person on this committee because we don't have to. The thing about last year is when it came out after we lost, we were on the outside looking in. We weren't in the top 4 yet. Now we're sitting at 2, and I couldn't be more confident. I don't even think
solid 2.
I don't think that we'll. I don't even think we'll move. No, I mean, if Clemson blows out Virginia Tech, maybe they'd put them at 2. But who cares? We're 2-3. We're just going to flip flop.
Yeah, it's the same seeding. So yeah, that's going to be nice. I definitely want some redemption against those fucking cocksuckers, and we owe them one. I think that's going to be a huge motivating factor in the playoffs. Herb obviously is going to play that shit up, and it's going to be a huge defensive struggle for the Buckeyes. That's going to be tough, but I think that's the way it's going to play out. I don't see Clemson and Washington losing. So.
No, it's highly unlikely that both will lose. Even, I mean, neither one is favored to. I mean, but I would love to play Clemson. We got to be able to move the ball to hang with a team like Clemson because they're going to move the ball. Their offense is solid. Mm-hmm. I mean, our defense is going to do their part, but I would love to.
Deshaun Watson will have some picks. Deshaun Watson turns the ball over.
Yeah, he might, and he's not going to look like a Pro Bowl quarterback against Virginia Tech either. That game, I think if they should probably win that game. They're way more talented across the board, but it's going to be ugly. I can't imagine them blowing out Vatek. Yeah. That would surprise me.
Yeah, so,
they don't blow out a lot of teams.
All right,
not this year.
Let's wrap this bitch. Put a bow on it. Excellent show, boys. I love recapping a nice Michigan win. Oh, feels so good. Warms my heart. Oh, it's awesome.
See you in Ann Arbor next year, ladies.
I like that.
Hey, real quick, linebacker Joe Berger, 5 gold pants.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Elfline as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a keeper. So, great show, boys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you smashing the Wolverines like we do. I got my boy, Sean Henry, up in Detroit.
Nice season, young Buckeyes.
Carrying the flag through Michigan, not giving a fuck. Got Jeff over in Orlando, carrying the flag.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all around the first of the year.
Yeah, we'll probably be back, and we'll recap these playoff rankings next week and slot the Buckeyes in there as we should, and kind of look forward to who we might be playing, Clemson.
Yeah, let's talk matchups.
Yeah. So, all right, boys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Thank you, Buckeye Nation. You know what to do. Hit us up on thebuckeyecast.com, all the social media at the BuckeyeCast, and please give us some feedback, email, whatever. Find us, hit us, punch us. Good talking to you guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Peace.
It's fun.